What's going on, y'all? So, real quick, this came up to my attention because I wasn't surprised that in the course of my business and what I do so that my service dog, my spirit animal companion, can rest, I'm not surprised that a certain kind of person from a certain location shows up showing a certain kind of, how would I say, a certain kind of discrimination, a certain kind of treatment, a certain kind of neglect for their fellow human. And I'm talking about a Filipino. All right. And I've seen this in some Asians, mainly between China, Japan, Filipino, all those Asians except for India, but I can't say too much. But something I noticed about some of these people, and I say some with a big emphasis on some. I noticed that some of these people, like anybody in general, but especially with this culture and whatever culture they got over there, okay, there is this very dogmatic treat business as business where the human is forgotten. Okay. So let's say, for example, I have a temporary tradition that I'm kind of trying to build upon to do more with other people and their service dogs. And that is that my service dog and we sit in on a movie that we already watched. I don't rewatch films. I'm not a film lover like that. I watch a film once. If I ever repeat it 3 times, it's got to be real good to catch my attention, or I got to be bored. But either way, my experience with movies is I don't repeat movies. But we have gone to the theaters, for example, 3 times in a weekend. And I strictly go so that we can rest, so that Rosie can rest. So we don't have to do all this walking around. So we don't have to do all this sitting around with noise, people. So she can just have some kind of like space to herself for about 2 hours so that she can rest before it's time for us to get back to our home. Now, this courtesy that and this understanding and compassion that the workers in the theater know and give to my dog is very appreciated. But along comes a little Filipino guy. And this little Filipino guy, something was off just by looking at him. I just knew it. I'm like, yeah, he's a fake. And well, what do you know? Filipino guy decided to take a job in that business as general manager. And Filipino guy wants to tell the rest of the people in the community who are helping me care for uh, Rosie, the dog, wants to tell this Filipino guy wants to tell the workers, oh no, don't give any more free tickets. Don't give any. Probably gonna try to move his way into the concessions. And you see, this thing about free tickets, this isn't an all the time thing either. This happens here and there, all right, on some swoops. It has rarely happened. And in the moments that it rarely happens, those people at the theater, the ones I know before the Filipino, they always came in because they knew, once again, I reiterate, they knew why and they know why I'm there in the first place. I'm there so that my baby could rest, okay, because she's an elder dog. But then, of course, no surprise to mine that this Filipino wants to go ahead and act up. No surprise either that I mean certain people within that culture. Once again, certain people in that culture, they look at dogs like some kind of food. They don't have the utmost respect, so it's ingrained. Okay, it has nothing to do whether it's the label Filipino or not. The people in that region, okay, that is called Philippine, so we could get the category out of the mind. But the people in that region called Philippine, a lot of people there have been taught a certain kind of culture. And in other Asian areas, okay, just anyone in general, there are people who are taught. Okay, and in this case, this one just happens to be from the Philippines, but it's no surprise because there's a lot of them that are from those Asiatic areas that have this kind of bad quality, robotic almost like quality. So it is no surprise that that happens. Okay, certain people, when they're taught a certain way, they will act a certain way. And anyone who is taught just business first in general, anyone in general is going to start acting in a way that disregards humanity or disregards something that is supposed to be understood, comprehended on a compassionate level. So it's like people literally become these robots. Okay. So this is why I'm very untrustworthy with certain people. There are certain people within certain demographics, okay, that I always have a barrier for, okay, because their spirit naturally already tells me put the barrier. And I do this with anyone, doesn't matter where you from. But I have noticed recently, for some apparent reason, it's all these Asians. What the hell going on? So then you got people, and then they'll be like, "Oh, this is Asian hate, Asian hate." I'm like, "Shut up! If you don't get it, that means you ain't trying to get it." Because I've just repeated how anyone in general, in any culture, doesn't matter where, when you're taught bullshit, you're gonna act with bullshit. Okay? Filipino, freaking there are Cuban people that act with bullshit like stereotypes. So if you a stereotype, you a stereotype. Period. I ain't gonna hide it, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. That's what some people are. Some people are stereotypes. Okay? And their stereotypical behavior reflects their upbringing. And their upbringing is related to their culture, wherever the fuck it is, whatever they're taught, their values or their lack of. So, why do some people don't trust Asian people? Because this stuff like this happens and it comes to my attention. And of course, I'm not surprised that people suddenly are speaking about, I don't want to trust Asians and whatnot. I'm like, some, okay? But we know very well that this isn't about Asian versus United States or versus India or versus any other label, name, category, title. This isn't any of that. What this is calling out people and their dogmatic, I would say not dogmatic, but this is calling out people from anywhere in the world who are just, in layman terms, you're taught bullshit. You have a bullshit upbringing. And either you decide to keep up or shut the fuck up and get on board or have to force yourself to adapt. All right? In case y'all don't know, in case some of those people don't know, the world is coming together again. We've been together, man. We've been together. We've been looking out for each other. We've been taking care of each other. You think we're going to let some random foreign person, wherever the fuck they come and make us look at business as more important or superseding that which is common, that which is civil, that which is natural, that which is compassionately felt amongst each other and our community and our people? Get out of here. In this America, if you don't know how to work with the people and you think that the illusion of business is the only thing that runs everything, you really ain't educated. I'm going to say that. You really not educated. Because anyone who educated, see, I had some people in Publix, right? Some people in Publix that were like, when I had the error with the refunds, some people were like, no, then the company loses money. I'm like, y'all don't understand this shit either. No one loses no money. Y'all don't do accounting? Clearly not. I mean, you're working at a certain position. What this general manager obviously don't do accounting, the one of the cinema. Of course not. Works at a certain position. Okay? It's not his job to know, but it is my job to know. It is our job to know individually. Okay? Because then when we do that, then people like us, when we take those positions and we see the community that's forming, we know how to work with the community versus someone who's trying to negate what the community and all the different colors and characteristics that the community brings to your business, or that job in that business you work for, or that anyone works for. So, anyways, y'all, hope that sheds some light why some people will be hesitant towards certain people. It's because there are certain behaviors of certain people, and it's not limited to Asian. It's not limited to Asian. It ain't limited to any kind of label. Jewish, Russian, English, British. What else? What else we got? Hispanic. It's not limited to that. Asshole, as I said it, is an asshole. Someone who's taught bullshit is taught bullshit. Someone who disregards life and compassion disregards life and compassion. Doesn't matter where they're from, but we're gonna call it out. Period. And it's our job to maintain a level head and a level heart. Say what needs to be said and keep it moving. Namaste.